and welcome to the Roto Bro Sports Fantasy Football Show. I am your host, Todd Stender. Joining me, as always, my brother Brad. What's up, man?
What's up, dude? How you living?
This slate, man, it's fucking weird and gross, and I don't know.
It's
How's your
horrible.
week two?
My week 2 is pretty good. I placed money in sets of 8, so I'm pretty happy.
Good, yeah. I did okay. I had some things right. I was really wrong on the Seahawks, and that cost me. Turned what was a good week, what could have been like an excellent week. So luckily, I had a bunch of Patriots, Brady, Hogan, Gronk tournament teams, so that helped. But yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, I played the Buccaneers a lot,
Yeah.
so that helped.
I had Mike Evans, so that helped.
Yep, I had him
but,
too.
Yeah, way too much Wilson, Baldwin, Jimmy Graham. That didn't work out at all.
Yeah, I ended up falling off that, and I ended up doing okay. I ended up playing Rivers, like paying down and getting Rivers. I wish I got the Brady, but I did well enough with my skill position guys that I did okay. I'm super salty I didn't play J.J. Nelson though, because I knew better.
I played him in cash. That was really like the easiest play of the week because people were going to.
No, I know that's the only reason you beat me in cash this week is J.J. Nelson because I crushed you everywhere else, but it's fine.
All right, so let's get into the slate. It's going to take some time because it's really ugly in some spots, and there's just not a lot that I really like. I'm not sure where to go in some other spots. It's just going to be really weird to see where the ownership kind of comes in. So the first game, I have the Saints at the Panthers, 46.5 total. Carolina favored by 6. So Saints are 0-2 coming into this game, coming off that blowout loss in New England. I don't know. What do you like about the Saints here? They're on the road.
I want none of the running backs. Obviously, you can look at Breeze, but I don't like playing Breeze on the road. In his last 2 games in Carolina on the road, he hasn't actually performed that well. The only guy I'd really look to play there is, Michael Thomas in like a tournament.
Yeah, I like Michael Thomas this week too. He's really big, so I think he'll kind of be. Breeze might lean on him a little bit, but I think the stack will be really low owned because Breeze is 7,200, and with the quarterback options this week, I don't think anyone's going to really pay up for him. Plus the home road splits, so it's kind of intriguing for tournaments.
What do you think about Alvin Kamara? So Carolina's second against the run in the NFL right now. So he might get a few more looks out of the backfield. He's only $4,000.
Yeah, he's got 13 targets in the 2 games, and I don't know. I don't like the 3 running backs. I know Peterson's not really playing much, so he's really going to play. I mean, those guys don't really affect Kamara's workload. There's a running back I like more in the same price range who I think is in a better spot. We'll talk about him in a few games just to.
I'm definitely not in love with Kamara. I just throwing it out there.
It's okay. I don't think we need to. So I think a lot of people are gonna just kind of auto look to the Panthers because we've been just streaming offenses versus the Saints. And the Panthers look bad. Cam looks bad. He's inaccurate. He's not completing anything. He just lost the best offensive player on the team. So I don't know. What do you like? Do you like anything?
Yeah, I'm actually. You're gonna be surprised. I'm mostly staying away from this game. So obviously, Cam. I just think there's better options at quarterback. He's not running, and he's just not throwing the ball that well off the shoulder surgery. Did I lose you?
Mm-mm.
All right. So off the shoulder surgery, he's just not throwing the ball that well. Maybe you're going Kelvin Benjamin. I thought the most intriguing player was Devin Funchess, just because he might get that uptick in targets. Right? I don't think that this really impacts Benjamin's role all that much. I think we might see a little more Funchess.
Yeah, Funchess played tight end in college, right? Didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So no one thinks Ed Ditson's a real pass catcher. So there's a chance that we see some more Funchess, and he's only 4,200. So I think that's intriguing. The one thing I don't understand about Carolina is Christian McCaffrey. He's 6,100. He costs more than Marshawn Lynch. What am I missing?
His price has gone up after
what am I missing about Christian McCaffrey? Why is his price going up? Because he's a stay away for me.
It's the Saints bump. They bumped him up because he's facing the Saints. But yeah, I don't know. The offense just doesn't look good. And if a lot of ownership is going to go here because they're playing the Saints, then I don't really want any part of it. I like Funchess at 4,200, but in tournaments, if he's going to be 30% owned, which he might be as the top value wide receiver could be, then I won't be here. Cam just looks bad. I don't want any part of Cam.
I don't like him with the bad shoulder. I don't think there's too much.
If McCaffrey's going to get 15 touches, I think he's interesting. But as a tournament play, because he's definitely not a cash play with. only a little bit more to get to Ty Montgomery, only a little bit less.
I mean,
than
just
CJ Anderson.
McCaffrey just has such a little touchdown upside. He's not getting any goal line work.
No, his touchdown equity is not very great. He has to break one. He needs to get like 8, 9 targets. I think 7 to 9 targets to kind of be worth it. But we could be wrong. The Panthers could score here, right? If they ever have a get right matchup, it's going to be this one. But for cash,
that's true. But I'm not really trying to build my lineup around a get right game.
Yeah, especially just with how bad Cam has looked. Cam has just looked so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We spent too much time on that. Next, I have Tampa Bay at Minnesota. So there's no line in this game yet because we don't know if Sam Bradford's going to play. But so we'll start with Tampa Bay. I don't know. You liked Tampa Bay last week, and that turned out okay. They scored 27 points. Anything you like for Tampa this week?
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to find my notes here. So, I mean, Mike Evans is 7,500. So, low key, Xavier Rhodes has been bad this season. So, Xavier Rhodes last year was, a traditional shutdown corner, but he's ranked 60th in PFF right now out of 119. He's been bad. Mike Evans might just go in there and dominate him. I don't hate Mike Evans. He's probably not a cash game guy.
No.
But in tournaments against Xavier Rhodes, because of the Minnesota defense in the way that they're like hyped, I think that he'll be reasonably low owned. I love Mike Evans and cash.
I think Rhodes has been bad, but Mike Evans is the kind of receiver he dominates. Like, he's going to have a hard time with Antonio Brown, but these big guys are the ones that he usually kind of eats, and I don't think I want any Mike Evans. Who I do like, though, is Deshaun Jackson on the other side.
Oh, yeah. I like Deshaun Jackson, too, 4,600.
Who's very, very bad, and I do worry that they're not going to if they're having a hard time getting the ball to Evans, which they might, then we could see a big game from Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, I think Jackson's definitely a tournament play this week.
Yeah,
for sure. Right, he's a guy who can just win you a matchup.
Assuming Bradford is out, we're not touching anything on the Vikings.
No, I don't want Keenum. I don't want Cook. I don't want Jacquizz Rodgers, even though he's cheap.
No.
And I like other options at quarterback more than Jameis, where he's priced. So,
if Bradford is in, do you have any interest in the Vikings?
I
kind of like Cook as a home. But there should be a close game, low-scoring game, kind of grind it out. The Tampa Bay's
I mean, if we think the offense can move the ball, right? I mean, Cook's 5,900. Diggs is 67. How much is Diggs? I can't remember off the top of my head.
He's up. He's like 67 or 68.
Yeah, Thielen's 57. I would look at playing Cook and Thielen.
Yeah, I like Cook. I think assuming Bradford's in, otherwise he'll be just facing stack boxes and. That's not exciting. But if Bradford's playing, I think we can look at Cook. I think it's a tough matchup, but they're at home, so I don't hate the play. All right, Denver at Buffalo, 40 total here. Denver's a 3-point favorite on the road. In my notes, I just have puke on this whole game, but I kind of have.
What do you think about touchdown God Trevor Siemian?
Yeah, 7 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks. I don't know about that.
Yeah, no thanks.
But I've kind of changed my tune on this since I wrote my notes last night. I think I love CJ Anderson. He's only 5,700, and I think he's like a cash play. He's just been over 20 carries. He's going to be over 20 carries. Buffalo's defense isn't good. I really like him to have a good game. He's always got a good shot at a touchdown, at 1 or 2 touchdowns, and I think he's got a shot at 100 yards here too. I don't know. What do you think about CJ?
He's actually the only guy I have listed as a play on this game. 5,700 for a guy you know is going to get 20 touches. I mean, if you're comparing him to a guy like Marshawn, I'd rather have him than Marshawn this week.
Yeah, easily, I think.
Because you just know he's going to get the workload. Jamal Charles is playing 12 snaps.
So LaShawn McCoy's down $2,000 since week 1. Do you have any interest in him at this kind of depressed price?
Not after the way I saw Denver absolutely dominate Dallas last week.
Yeah. Okay, what about the Denver pass catchers? They're both under 6K.
I mean, I'm never going to play either Denver pass catcher in cash, just because the reality with them is it's a you go I go kind of thing. It's really hard to predict who's going to be the guy.
Yeah, well, for touchdowns anyway. But both of them are kind of locked in target wise. They're kind of we know where the targets are going to go on that team. But Demaryius is cheap. I think you can go there and you can stack Simeon and Demaryius for under 10K. They're close, just over 10K. My math's not great. and I think that's intriguing.
But it's not what you're here.
But so I think that's intriguing for a tournament. But in case it's his week, he goes off for 2 touchdowns. But yeah, not really a ton to like in this game either.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not touching any Buffalo pass catchers except maybe Charles Clay if he plays, right? And even then, I don't.
No Buffalo pass catchers. No, I don't like to take defenses on the road. But what do you think about Denver's in this spot?
I mean, you can play the Denver defense anywhere. Against Tyrod Taylor with no weapons around him.
Yep. Tyrod Taylor tends to get sacked a lot because he holds the ball too long.
He's gonna be running for his life.
And he tends to get sacked because he doesn't like to get rid of the ball. He never gives up on plays, so that creates points for an opposing fantasy defense. So yeah, like I said, I don't really like to play defenses on the road, and I don't know that we need Denver. Actually, you know what? What is their price? Do you know? I don't have it in front of me. It's probably too much.
I don't, but I can tell you that I'm playing the Baltimore defense on the road against Jacksonville in season 1 because I have no doubt that
that's not on the main. That's not on the main slate. But Jack, you could do that too, I suppose. All right.
I can't find the price.
Yeah,
Sorry.
We'll figure it out. I think it's probably too much. I like the Eagles for 3K.
Yep, that's who I like too. On the same point.
Pittsburgh at Chicago, 44 total. Pittsburgh favored by a touchdown. So Le'Veon Bell is below 9K for the first time since like week 7 of last year.
Fire him up.
So we know Ben struggles on the road, so this could be a good. And he had 27 carries and 4 catches.
And he had 31 touches, right? So he had 4 catches. The reality, if his workload is 25 touches, sign me up.
And obviously, Minnesota is a really tough team to play against. They have a really elite defense. So you don't have to worry too much about his, bad efficiency stats, and he didn't get in the end zone either. So
yeah. I mean, the Chicago front 7 is okay. I think they're 12th against running backs, but I mean, the reality is they're not Minnesota. Minnesota is a top 5 defense.
Yeah, I think we can look at Antonio Brown here too. He's had 11 targets in each of the first 2 games. Antonio Brown or Julio this week?
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, he's had 11 targets in both games. There's not really anyone that can check him on this Chicago team. He might just destroy them. I know we don't really love Ben on the road here, but still early in the year, he might be okay. And Antonio Brown, Ben doesn't have to have a huge game for Brown.
What do you think about Martavis in the tournament play?
Yeah, I like the Steelers' offense here. I think they're going to score some points through the air.
So, yeah, 5,700. He was $6,000, and we hadn't seen him play in a year and a half. Now he's 5,700.
Yeah,
give me that.
I know. I think the Steelers are in a good spot to score some points here.
I agree.
All right. Anything you like on the Bears?
Zach Miller in a week where we have no tight ends.
Yeah, he's a really good cheap tight end play. He's only 3,000. He's going to get consistent looks in this offense. 15 targets through 2 games. One thing to keep an eye on, Jordan Howard is below $5,000. This isn't the week to use him, but the week to use him is coming. Last week was kind of a fluke. He hurt his shoulder. He was in a sling on the sidelines. They were getting blown out. They were down 27. So, I wouldn't worry too much about that. He's still going to be the early down guy in this team if he's healthy when he's playing.
I mean, Jordan Howard's good at football, right? We know that. So
yeah, and Tariq Cohen is up to 5,600. Like you don't want any part of that, right?
Oh no. I'd rather play Theo Riddick. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay, I like the Zach Miller call. I think that's really interesting. For cash, there's a tight end that I like for cash that it's going to make you want to throw up. But there's one that I like for cash that might make you want to. I don't know. There's 2 that I'm considering if I pay down.
I think there's one guy you lock in.
Yeah,
but we'll talk. We'll get to it.
Yeah, it's gross. So Zach Miller is definitely one of the cheap options that I like. And okay, so the next game we have Miami at the New York Jets. 41.5 total. Miami's favored by 6. We'll start with Miami. First thing I want to say is I like really love Jay Ajayi this week. Really love him, but if you're gonna pay that far up, should you just go all the way up to Le'Veon Bell?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think the Jets front seven is good. People still think the Jets run defense is good, but they don't have Sheldon Richardson anymore. People are running all over them. They're always
it's not good. It's 30th in the league so far against fantasy running backs. It's really bad.
So I really like Ajayi this week. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot to like. For example, if I can fit like Ajay, if I need to go down to Ajay to fit in Antonio Brown, I'm doing that because I
Yeah.
don't think the drop off is that high, and you're saving
No,
$1,100.
yeah, Ajayi had almost 30 touches last week as well.
But
He had 28
I,
carries.
I just feel like Bell is like he is the best shot at a 30-point game.
I agree. But we've seen that Ajayi have 200-yard games before. Didn't he have 3 last year?
It's also true.
So
He didn't have Smoking Jay back there though.
I know he's got a better. Well, yeah, he's got a better quarterback this year. That's the difference.
What do you think about Smoking Jay's options this week?
We'll get to this when we get to the bold calls. But Devontae Parker is the best point per dollar play on the board this week for tournaments. He's gonna absolutely just destroy this team.
Plus, Jarvis Landry might miss this game. If Jarvis Landry misses this game, we're talking 15 targets for Devontae Parker.
And Parker's going to get all the deep targets anyway. Jarvis Landry's still going to get his, and people are going to play Jarvis Landry because he had 15 targets last week. But
He had 75 yards. Who cares?
I thought he had like 38 yards. He had like 2.5 yards per catch. He's just like, I don't want any part of that. I love Devontae Parker this week.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good call. There's no one on the Jets who can stay with him, and Smoking Jay loves his big receivers, man. Parker had 8 targets last week.
Not
He
afraid
caught
to chuck it, for sure.
Yeah, he caught 4 balls for 83 yards, right? So the reality, he's averaging 21 yards a catch. Devontae Parker is going to be the deep guy. He's the guy who has the best chance of getting in the end zone. And Smoking Jay will turn around and hand it off, but he's going to fire that shit down the field too.
Yeah, and the Jets are not good. We talked about that. The Jets
they're the worst team in the league.
They're just not good. So there's going to be a lot of possessions, a lot of short fields, a lot of chances for Miami to score. I like Parker to get 2 touchdowns this week.
Right. What about Kenny Stills in a tournament? Not buying it. He only had 3 targets last week.
We don't need to. If I'm going to play a deep threat, I'm just going to play Parker. He's not that expensive. We don't need to play Kenny Stills. That's shot in the dark. No, that's pretty thin. I'm good.
Right. Okay. Anyone on the Jets you like?
What do you think about McGod? He's only 4,500. Can you?
No.
This is the same matchup that we attacked Phillip Rivers in last week, and he's 1,300 less. Like, he's good. I mean, isn't he good? Like, why aren't we talking about he can't pay off this $4,500 salary? You can stack him with Jermaine Kearse, who's like apparently the best receiver in the league now. Like, I don't know. I think this is in play.
I mean, I guess you could.
You can just full on stack this game. Like, just load up.
Just can't do
Give me the McGod to Kearse with Ajayi and Parker and just load it up. I'm in.
I don't know, dude.
I'm gonna have some McGod in tournaments this week.
I'm not. Maybe in tournaments. Yeah, not in cash.
No. I think there's a pretty easy cash play.
Yeah. Okay, we're on the same page. We'll get to that. So I know we've talked about that offline.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. In a tournament play, I don't hate it. Yeah. I mean, you need 13 points out of it.
Right. Well, you really need like 18 if you want to do well in a tournament. Like if you're playing him in cash, you're looking for 14, but you're obviously looking for more in a tournament. But if there was actually someone we needed to pay 10 grand for this week, I think McCown would be in cash consideration. But because there's just not really that high price guy we have to have this week, with obviously David Johnson's out, Bell's in kind of a tough matchup and his price is down. Like, we don't need to jam in 2 10K guys so we can have a little extra salary. We don't need to play Josh McCown in cash. I think if we did, he'd be in consideration, but we just don't need to go there.
Right. Any skill position guys on the Jets?
Yeah, I don't mind Jermaine Kearse at 4,600. He's the number 1 receiver in this team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it either because I actually think the Dolphins are pretty good and that the Jets fall behind early. But I kind of like Safarian Jenkins too as like a dark horse cheap tournament play. He was really effective in the preseason, man, and they were
catch for his whole career. I mean, the guy's just like the bummest of bums.
Well, he was an alcoholic. Supposedly he's clean and like in shape, and you never know. Is it
not clean?
What? I don't know. Is a tournament play for $3,000 in a week where there's no tight ends?
I'm the first person to say that this week. It's like I don't know that I'll get there, but I guess it's not the worst thing. How many Jets do we want to play? I'd rather play Kearse. So do it then.
I'd rather play Kearse too.
You're gonna stack up McGod and Safarian Jenkins and Kearse, just the Jets double stack in tournaments. Run it back with
I might just do it in like a $3 just for lulz.
run it back with Devontae Parker. Just load up on this 20. On this
Yeah, I
30
actually might
total.
do that in a tournament. Just 'cause why not?
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Giants at the Eagles. I don't know. I wrote the.
Do we want any Giants?
No. Eli's toast. You can't play Beckham until he looks healthy. He didn't look right Monday night. The Eagles are favored by 6 in this game. The one play that I kind of like here is Zach Ertz. We're at the point where he's the number one receiver on this team, and we just have been playing every tight end versus the Giants for 2 years now. Like, we saw the same thing. Eric Ebron scored on the first drive of the game last week. Like, Zach Ertz is in a spot to just go ham here. What do you think about Ertz?
I mean, he's one of my 2 tight ends. There's one other guy that I think if you need to drop down to save money, there's one other player I think you can do. Like, if you need to save $1,200 to fit in Antonio Brown or something. But I mean, if we're gonna pay up for him, I really love Zach Ertz this week. It's a great matchup, and he's getting tons of looks.
Yeah.
And the reality is, the Phillies not even trying to run the ball.
They can't run
Not
the
even
ball.
trying.
And they have a great offensive line. Just have, like, LeGarrette Blount just can't play outside New England.
Yeah, no, he's trash.
Okay, so we talked about how much we like the Eagles D. I think they're the cash game defense at this point in the week. It's Wednesday night. I don't see any way. They're only 3,000. The Giants just look dead. I mean, we can't play.
But yeah, we're gonna win 5 games.
Yeah, I love how everyone was picking them to go to the Super Bowl. They're just so fucking bad.
Yeah, Eli's bad. I posted a tweet the other day with 3 quarterbacks career statistics, and weird, he had the worst one, and it was Rivers and Eli and Tony Romo. But
He's gonna go to the Hall of Fame, and those guys.
Eli's the guaranteed Hall of Famer, even though Phillip Rivers is 10 times the quarterback Eli Manning ever was.
I know.
But whatever. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah, well, Eli sucks. We can get it, but you can't use Odell Beckham in this spot. I think it's a good matchup for him individually against Jalen Mills, but he didn't look right. Still coming back from his injury. Eli just looks so bad. I don't know that he can get him.
Yeah. There's no Giants I'm playing. Maybe I'll look at Alshon Jeffrey if Jackrabbit's out, but I'm not playing him if Janoris plays. And then I kind of like Darren Sproles at 3,900.
That's interesting. Yeah, you can definitely. It's going to be tough to run. Obviously, the Eagles can't run. It's going to be.
I don't think they're even. It's not a running play. It's he's going to catch 8 balls play.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So the Eagles know they're not going to be able to run, so that Sproles might get some extra work.
Yeah, I don't even think they're going to try to run.
Yeah, well, they can't, and I think I don't think they try either. All right, finally, we've gone through like 4 shit games so far. Finally, we're at a good one. We have the Falcons at the Lions. Total's at a 50 right now. Atlanta's favored by a touchdown on the road. Start with the Falcons. Anything stick out to you here?
I think Devontae Freeman's underpriced. So we talked about this earlier, how you – and I guess we'll get to it. There's a guy who's around him that you liked more. I love Devonta Freeman this week. Detroit is only what?
I do too. Just I'm not. I think Ty Montgomery's the cash play in this range, but
I'm not sure about that. So so Devonta Freeman, this offense is gonna be a lot better. The Packers' offense might be a little bit of patchwork this week. So I mean, the reality is Devonta Freeman at 6,700. You're getting a guy who's a top 5 running back. I mean, that's really good. I mean, that's decent value in a game where I think they could score 40. So the Lions have been, I think they're like second right now against fantasy running backs. They haven't played anybody, right? They played a half of David Johnson and Paul Perkins. So they haven't played.
The Giants have me and you could be out there running for the Giants. It wouldn't make a difference.
Exactly. I really think that the Lions are going to struggle stopping the run this game, and I think.
No, I love Freeman. I love Freeman. I think that Montgomery plays 90% of the snaps, and Freeman plays like 68% of the snaps, and that's where I give him a slight edge. So yeah, that's really what it comes down to for me. Is just is that.
Yeah, I mean the volume is definitely a fair point, right? And I definitely I want to save our conversation about Montgomery for when we get to that game. I just think there's such a good chance that Devonta Freeman gets in the end zone. This is going to be such a high-scoring game. It's got shootout written all over it.
No, I said I love Freeman. I just think for cash, Montgomery's a little safer. He's not like he's going to get all the running back touches, so that Freeman gets the goal line work, but he doesn't. He only gets 65-70% of the running back touches, and that's a big difference when we're talking cash games. where you need to secure that volume a little more. Freeman's an excellent tournament play. I like all the Falcons. I like Sanu at 4,600. He's actually leads the team in targets right now through 2 weeks. You can just stack this game up like every which way. Ryan to Julio, Ryan and Freeman is a really interesting stack that I don't think people don't like to play running backs with their quarterbacks. And we saw this last week with Rodgers and Montgomery. Like, you can play those guys together and they can put up good games. That's kind of the situation we have here. Ryan Freeman, Ryan Sanu, Ryan Julio, two of them. Throwing Austin Hooper too. I like all. You
could go on the other side too with stacking it. You could go Stafford, Tate.
Yep, Tate.
Stafford, Riddick.
Yeah, I like Theo Riddick this week. I actually like Amir Abdullah too, and he's cheaper. They're at home, so the Lions are not going to get blown out in this game. I think if it's high scoring and they keep it close, like Abdullah will get some work. Tate's a little overpriced, I think, for his like super low ADOT, but he has the best matchup as Marvin Jones is going to see more Trufant. What do you like on the Lions?
I mean, I don't mind Tate, just I think this is going to be such a high-scoring game. I love Theo Riddick this week. I don't think we see as much Amir Abdullah, and the reality is Amir Abdullah is not good at football. So,
that's not true. He's good.
No, he's not good. He's not good. If you take out his one big run, he averaged 2.9 yards last week, and the week before he didn't do shit either. He's not good. He's never shown anything in the NFL.
But that one speed he made in preseason when he was a rookie, like, you can't forget that.
Yeah. He's still living off that. Give me 5,100 Theo Riddick. They're going to be throwing the ball. They are going to be throwing the ball to keep up with Atlanta because they're never stopping Atlanta. That is never. Atlanta doesn't do whatever they want with the Detroit defense. Stafford's going to be throwing to keep up, and when they throw, Riddick's on the field.
Yeah, everyone in this game is in play. I think Marvin Jones, he's going to see Trufant, but he's only 4,200. I mean, how is Marvin Jones?
I think 42. Yeah, he's a sneaky. I think he's a sneaky little tournament play.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are going to go there because of Trufant and
What about Babytron? Babytron might have the other corner on it.
That's the thing is with Trufant on Marvin Jones, it might be a nice little bounce back spot for my boy.
I think I'd rather pay the extra 400 for Babytron because people are going to be on Marvin Jones.
Nobody's going to pay more for Galladay than they're paying for Jones. So yeah, nobody's going to play him.
I think in tournaments, Galladay is probably the guy.
If you're going to make 5 stacks of this game, like 5 different ways, you have to have Galladay on 2 of them. I think probably.
Yeah.
We alluded to this a little bit earlier, but Matthew Stafford is kind of the cash play for quarterback, right?
He's the only guy you can play.
Yeah.
People are going to. If you look at Jake Cutler, is $100 cheaper than him.
I'm sorry, who?
Jake Cutler.
Yeah.
There's a $100 difference between him and Jake Cutler. It makes no sense.
No. Yeah. Stafford at home in what the second highest total of the week. Like, it's pretty easy. You can just kind of jam him in there. He's just not expensive enough.
No, that's money. That's money. You're locking Stafford in this week. Yeah. And Stafford at home is really good.
Yeah. I'm playing Stafford in cash. That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
All right. Houston at New England. 43.5 total. New England favored by 13 as of yesterday. So my notes for the Texans, I just have nope. So we don't have to talk about
I have no Texans.
Yeah. What do you think about the Patriots here? Hogan, Dorsett, Gronk, all in.
Honestly, it's too early. We don't know who's going to play, right? So Dorsett's on the injury report. Hogan's on the injury report. Gronk is on the injury report. He practiced today. I didn't even do this game because I don't know who's going to play.
The one thing that stuck out to me is Mike Gillislee. He's 5,700, but he's only He's $100 less than C.J. Anderson. So I think everyone will just play C.J. Anderson. So if the Patriots get up big, they're just going to pound Mike Gillislee in the second half. He could always get a hat trick, 3 touchdowns. James White's going to play a lot. I mean, Burkhead, if they play, they're going to play a lot of us. They're going to play a lot of wide receiver this week because they don't have any wide receivers. So Gillislee might see an uptick in snaps. I really like him.
I don't think they pound Houston though.
Oh, they do. Yeah, no, they're going to destroy Houston. Houston sucks.
I don't think they do. This Houston. Do you remember the last time they played in the playoffs? This Houston team always gives Tom Brady a little bit of trouble.
They lost their best corner from last year. Deshaun Watson sucks. He's got no place in the NFL, but I've only been saying that for 3 years. He sucks. I decided that.
He's super inaccurate.
Yeah, and he's just got no zip on the ball too. He throws like a lady. Yeah, he sucks. So I like Mike Gillislee, and I like the Patriots to blow them out here. And if that's the case, then Gillislee is going to get 25 carries.
I think it's going to be closer than you think. That New England defense is horrific.
Deshaun Watson is horrific.
Their
offense is horrific. The Texans offense is horrible. They're worse than the Jets. They need to make a trade for Josh McCown, and then this team would be good.
Yeah, they actually would be much better with Josh McCown. Yeah.
All right. This next game, it's going to sound really gross when I say it, but it's kind of one of my favorite games for tournaments. The Browns at the Colts.
I knew you were going to say that.
40.5 total. Cleveland favored by 1 here on the road. When was the last time Cleveland was favored on the road?
2000. Was that year they won 10 games with Derek Anderson?
We don't even know if they were actually a road favorite in that year. Like it could be 1990.
Yeah.
So, DeShone Kaiser's only 5,000. I kind of really like him.
I thought he's the only other guy I have listed as a cash play at quarterback. Yeah, is DeShone Kaiser.
Right. I think that's true. I really like DeShone Kaiser. Rashard Higgins, this guy who was on the practice squad last week, came up, had 11 targets. Like, if he's going to be 40% owned in tournaments, then I'm not going to play him.
He will be,
unless it's as part of a stack. But he's probably a solid cash play if he's going to see 8 targets here. Well,
it's just an interesting thing on Rashard Higgins is I don't know if you remember, but in the Cleveland game, DeShone Kaiser went out with migraines. So when I believe his name was Kevin Hoden, I can't even fucking tell you. I just remember he went to Stanford. When Kevin Hoden came in, Higgins saw 40% of the targets. That number dropped to 23 when Kaiser was in the game. So there was a little bit of a rapport between the backup QB. Yeah.
All right.
So I don't know if we can trust the 11 targets. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. 11 is too much, but he's only 4,000. We don't need him to get 11. We need him to get.
Yeah, and there's going to be a role for him. There's no one else.
Yeah, exactly. Without Coleman, there's nobody else. And so that brings me to one of my favorite plays in the week. I really, really love Duke Johnson this week. If you look at him compared to all the other pass-catching running backs, Theo Riddick is over 5K, James White's over 5K, Tariq Cohen's over 5K. Duke's down here at 42 in kind of a similar situation. They don't really have any wide receivers here, so they're going to move him around. They're going to play him in the slot. They should be able to move the ball and score here on this Colts team, which is obviously the worst team in the league. They're like Saints-level bad defense. I don't know if you can, he's not really a cash game play, but if you can do a Kaiser Duke Johnson stack, I really like that for tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that. I mean, I like Theo Riddick a lot more than him this week, just because I think that it's such a higher scoring game.
I think this game is sneaky. I think the total is too low.
I don't know. Here's the weird thing for me. Has anyone run on the Colts yet this year? No. It's super weird.
I mean, they scored on
Gurley got nothing. Gurley did nothing against them.
Wow, Gurley had a good game.
He averaged less than 2 yards per carry.
Yeah, he did really well out of the backfield, though. Duke Johnson, baby.
Yeah, I like Duke Johnson. I probably should have been more clear. I'm a little nervous on Isaiah Crowell, because he was someone I was really looking at with the price. Is like a bounce back guy.
Yeah.
But Jonathan Hankins is a legitimate man in the middle of the Colts defense. You might not be able to run in the middle on them.
If the Browns get a lead here and they start feeding Crowell, I don't know. I like the Browns to kind of get a lead here.
That's true too, though. Yeah, just Jacoby Brissett is bad.
Yeah.
Who's worse, DeShone Kaiser or Jacoby Brissett?
Brissett's worse.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't have. So here's the tight end play that you were gonna hate, but I love me some Jack Doyle this week.
Why would I hate that? I love Jack Doyle. He's my number.
Colts. That's just gross.
So,
I think he's a cash play.
He is a cash play. So he's the leader in targets with Jacoby Brissett in there.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett sucks, but I guess bad quarterbacks. That's a good thing for tight ends.
Bad quarterbacks don't throw the ball down the field, especially Jacoby Brissett because his ball is super wobbles.
Yeah, no, I like Jack Doyle. I don't know, Jack Doyle, or do you pay down a little more and get like Jared Cook or Zach Miller?
No, Jack Doyle.
Yeah,
I mean they're playing Jack Doyle, Zach Ertz.
Yeah. Oh, really? No Jordan Reed for you? No,
Jordan Reed's gonna have tissues. Get away from me.
Okay. So Jack Doyle's the only possible play on the Colts. I like the idea of playing like a Kaiser with Duke Johnson and Higgins, and then Jack Doyle like all on the same team, just in case this game like actually people score some points with these bad defenses.
I just can't imagine this is like a 31.
That's a millionaire making. That's a millionaire. Deshaun Kaiser and Duke Johnson and Jack Doyle are going to be on the Millie Maker winning team this week.
Yeah, I agree. Ugh,
I know, that's gross. All right, Seahawks at the Titans, 42.5 total. Titans are favored by 3. Are the Seahawks broken? Like, what's going on here? They
yeah,
I don't.
I mean, even though they're cheap,
they couldn't score on the 49ers. Like, what's happening here?
Even though they're cheap, I want nothing to do with this passing game. Russell Wilson has been he's been outside of the 15 for almost the entire stretch of September for his entire career. So the reality, I mean, he always just gets started slow. Doug Baldwin's price has come down too. I still don't want it into him. Like, I don't trust them. The only person I'm playing is Chris Carson.
Yeah, I like Carson too. It's his backfield, right? I mean, he played over 60% of the snaps, had 20 carries.
Yeah, I just wish he caught more balls. I mean, CJ Prosise is still the third down back. But
yeah, he's only 4,900. You like him or Isaiah Crowell?
Probably Crowell.
Yeah, I think so too.
I like Crowell.
Yeah, this Titans team is bad though, but the Seahawks offense I just don't see them scoring a lot of points here. They're just broken.
The Titans team is bad. Their run defense isn't like horrible though. They did a job against Leonard Fournette last week.
No, that's true. Their pass defense is bad, but we can't trust the Seahawks to actually move.
No, they have the worst offensive line I've ever seen.
I'm gonna completely pass on the Titans this week.
The only one who's interesting is in a tournament is like Derrick Henry if DeMarco's out.
Well, if DeMarco's out, then fine. But I don't think DeMarco's going to sit. It's just going to be like a muddled mess. I don't want anything to do with it until.
Oh, yeah. If DeMarco plays, I want none of them.
Yeah. Delaney Walker, you could probably look at. The Seahawks are.
Yeah, 4,400. I don't mind him. But again, at that point, I'd rather just drop down to Doyle at 36.
Yep. Okay. Moving on.
Let's take it right. Is the best coverage linebacker in the NFL. So.
Chiefs at the Chargers, 47 total. Kansas City favored by 3. The big thing here that I have is the status of Jason Verrett. If he remains out, the Chiefs can probably try to get Tyreek Hill away from Casey Hayward a little bit. Where, if they got both those guys on, then Tyreek's going to have elite coverage wherever he goes. So, what do you think about the Chiefs here? Kareem Hunt's up to 8,000. Travis Kelce's over 6. Any Chiefs you like?
I don't have any Chiefs. So I think they're really expensive for an offense that I think has overperformed so far. The Chargers defense isn't as good as we thought it was, but if they have Verrett back, I mean, there's some things they can do. They've got pass rushers. I don't think the Chiefs line is awesome, and I'd rather pay the extra $800 for Le'Veon Bell than to pay for Kareem Hunt. So there's just nobody here that I like.
The volume for Kareem Hunt worries me. He only had 13 carries last week, and he broke a long run. That was most of his production for the day. I mean, I think he's really good. I've been touting him all summer, but that's just people are going to chase those box scores, and that's just not I don't think we need to pay AK for him. I'd rather play a Ajayi or go up to Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, no, I think we're on the same page there.
Travis Kelce over 6,000. I like Ertz and Reed more, so I don't want anything to do with that either.
Yeah, I'm probably not paying up.
Your boy Tyreek Hill.
I mean, it all depends on whether Verrett plays.
He's not good, by the way. His one big play of the year was just like a busted coverage. He didn't actually beat anybody on that play. He's not good. I'm off.
I mean, all the guy does is break 60-yard touchdowns.
That had nothing to do with him. I could have scored on that play. That was busted coverage.
Yeah, that was his 6th game in a row with a 60-yard touchdown, Todd.
That was like 80% of his yards for the season on that one play.
I know, he didn't even play for like the first half of the season last year. Relax, he's gonna be fine. I'm not worried about him. He's the number. He's one of the number one guys on that. He's the number one receiver on that team. I'm not.
Travis Kelce's the number one receiver on that team.
Who has more fantasy points so far?
Shut up. Busted coverage, Jesus.
And I would expect Tyreek Hill to get behind some people a few more times.
Right, I'm going to force you to defend your boy Melvin Gordon. That dude is egregiously bad. Tell me he's not.
He's not bad.
He had 1.7 yards per carry this week. It's horrible. We have 13 carries for 9 yards.
Name an offensive lineman on the Chargers.
King Dunlap.
He's not on the team anymore. Next. That's my point. That's my point. The Chargers are another team with a horrific offensive line. They get no separation. He grades out well.
If it wasn't for goal line work and what he does in the passing game, he'd be unusable. He's bad.
He's not bad at football. He has a bad offensive line. This is whatever. This is not a conversation that we need to have here because I don't have the PFF.
I'm off him. He's bad.
I don't have the analytics in front of me. I don't want to play him this week. It's 7,600 though.
Yep. Any interest in Hunter Henry?
He's intriguing.
So I wonder if Henry's going to get more involved now that they got the touchdown record for Gates out of the way. They don't have to kind of force it to him down there. They can be like, all right, Antonio, you got your record. Take a seat.
No, sit down. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I wonder about that. We'll see how this week goes. He out targeted Gates last week, 7-4, and split the snaps with him almost down the middle. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to win that job eventually, right? Gates is a corpse.
Yeah. Well, he can still box people out in the end zone, so I worry about them still going to Gates at the goal at inside the 20. But
yeah, all right. What about Chargers wide receivers? There's one guy you got to play Keenan Allen in cash, right? He's a lock.
I don't know that he's way up this week. I mean, last week it was a lock at 5,800. Keenan Allen or Golden Tate?
Keenan Allen. I'm still not sure I care, dude. He's averaging 10. He's averaging 10 targets a game, and
Marcus Peters is pretty good.
Marcus Peters doesn't. Do we know if Marcus Peters shadows into the slot all the time?
No,
I feel like he doesn't.
I don't think he goes in. I don't even know if he's going to follow him to both sides of the field, but he's going to see half the game of Marcus Peters anyway. And division games, they know. I don't know.
The Chiefs have given up the second most points to wide receivers this year.
Yeah,
their secondary is beat up. They're missing their number 2 corner and Eric Berry.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to pay up for a bunch of running backs. So I don't know that I'll have the salary left for Keenan Allen. It depends what I do at tight end. If I
like Keenan Allen this week.
I do too. I like him. I don't know that I love him because I worry about his touchdown equity. Like to pay off that $7,200. Like if he has 6 catches for 80 yards, like that's not going to do it for you.
He's the only guy I'm playing. I don't think we need to keep talking about this game.
All right. Bengals at Packers, 44.5 total. Green Bay favored by 8.5. Do you think the Packers should be favored by 2 touchdowns here? Is Andy Dalton playing quarterback when this game is over? And is Marvin Lewis the coach on Monday? Those are my 2 questions.
I need to either of those answers. The answer is Andy Dalton should still be playing quarterback because AJ McCarron is not better than him.
Right. Well, yeah.
Okay. And the other answer is Marvin Lewis shouldn't be the coach on Monday. But I'm not sure the Packers should be a 2-touchdown favorite. Their defense sucks.
Yeah, so that brings us to the interesting thing. AJ Green might be the most interesting tournament play of the week.
I love him in tournaments.
Because, the Bengals haven't scored yet, and nobody's going to go here. And we know we've been picking on the Packers secondary for 2 years now. They're horrible. AJ Green can have one play and one big play, and they're there.
Julio had 100 yards in the first half, so give me AJ Green.
Yeah, I really think that's interesting. If you're playing a lot of tournament teams, definitely get some AJ Green, and you can stack this game. If the Bengals can get right here against a shitty defense and can score 24.
I don't know how get right they're going to be. Right, Eiffert's hurt. I'm staying away from him even if he plays. The running game is so fucked up. You never know who's going to play. I'm not going to play any of them. I think AJ Green is the only play on the Bengals side. The Packers side is way more interesting with their injuries.
Yeah, so one more thing I want to know in the Bengals. We're not quite there yet, but Joe Mixon has outtouched Jeremy Hill in both of the games. Eventually, he's going to just completely take over that job. He's been a lot better. We're not there yet, but that's just something to keep an eye on this week.
Yeah. In season 1, I've been trying to think of ways to get him, but my team is trash and I can't trade anything.
Yeah. Okay, so Packers side, a lot of injuries. Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb. Both your tackles, what's going on?
Our best pass rusher too. I don't even know what the status is on the tackles, but so Cobb, Nelson, and Mike Daniels are all game time decisions, right? So Mike Daniels matters because that's going to impact the pass rush, which will impact a guy like AJ Green who needs to get down the field. And Jordy Nelson being out is a huge deal because if he's out, then Devontae Adams becomes a must play.
Yeah, you just lock button him, right?
Interesting thing to note, though, is if Randall Cobb is out, you want to look for Geronimo Allison. So Geronimo Allison is $3,000. He played something like 68 of 71 snaps
after
after
Jordy Nelson went out.
After Jordy got hurt. And so in his 2 games last year without Randall Cobb, he had something like 13 catches and 157 yards. And so, I mean, he's definitely a guy you could plug in $3,000 and probably get some production out of.
Yeah, no, I really like that call if those guys are out. I think about Ty Montgomery. I think he's like an $8,000 player that his price hasn't caught up to his role yet. He plays 90% of the snaps in an Aaron Rodgers offense. Like, it's just like an elite role on an elite offense. You have to play him, I think, in cash until he's $8,000.
Yeah, he was my best call of season 1. I hate myself for not drafting him.
He never leaves. He just like never leaves the field. Like, I mean, what did Jamal Williams get, like 3 carries? Like,
and I knew that was going to happen. I hate myself.
So
anyway,
I think Ty Montgomery is just a really, really good cash play this
week. So he's really good at football. He's good at football.
And obviously he's probably the best pass catching running back in the league, right? I mean, he was.
Yeah, and he's good at football because Colin Cowherd said he's not good at football.
Colin Cowherd's an idiot.
I know.
Does that guy have a show? Because he's a leftist. That's why. That's all you got to do to get a sports talk radio show. All right. Last game. And it's also the game with the highest total. Oakland at Washington. Total's at 54. Oakland favored by 3. So we're expecting a high-scoring shootout here. 2 weeks in a row, the highest total on the board is the Sunday Night Hammer. What do you like for the Redskins here?
For the Redskins, is Rob Kelly going to play?
Let's say, for the sake of this, that he's not going to play.
I like Samaje Perine then at 46.
Yeah, he carried it 20 times without Fat Rob last week. And the Raiders' defense kind of sucks. They really suck, actually. So
they do suck. They just have one. They have one pass rusher, so everyone thinks they're good.
Yeah, because they have maybe a top 3 defensive player in the league that they got Khalil Mack, but now the defense as a whole is shit.
I'm off the Redskins receivers though. I'm off. I'm off for Brad.
I'm on. I think this is a really good Jamison Crowder spot. I think he can just rack up catches here, where the Redskins are going to have to throw a ton. Jamison Crowder, Jordan Reed, those guys can just rack up catches over the middle. I mean, I haven't seen it I love Terrell Pryor. He's maybe the best athlete in the entire league. He just can't. I don't know.
He's a pussy. Did you see that thing on him today?
No, they haven't got it together yet. So I'm.
He was asking defensive backs not to hit him in the knees during the game. He's a pussy. I want nothing to do with that pussy.
So,
no thanks.
What do you think about Chris Thompson? He scored a bunch of touchdowns last week, so I think a lot of people are going to go there. So it's almost like the easiest fade in the world for me.
Yeah, I mean, he had 3 touchdowns in like a year and a half, and then he had 3 in 2 weeks.
3 carries for two rushing touchdowns. The guy never scores rushing touchdowns. And then
no, but in his last 20 games, he has 3 touchdowns, like not including the last 2 weeks. Like he never scores touchdowns, and now he has 3. Like,
if he's going to carry a bunch of ownership, you just have to just fade him.
It's very fluky. Plus, I won't own him because I'm playing against him in season 1.
I think everyone else on the Redskins isn't play though. I mean, you can play if you're playing a bunch of Redskins stacks. You can play
Pryor and Cousins and all of them. I'm a little
Crowder at 4,900. I think that's too cheap for what could happen in this game.
Yeah, I mean he's $1,000 cheaper than Jarvis Landry, and he's the same player.
Yeah, he might be better. Jarvis Landry sucks.
Okay.
You don't think so? He sucks.
No, but whatever.
Okay, so I think before I decided that Matthew Stafford was a cash play, I kind of liked Derek Carr, 6,800. Just this is the highest total of the game, the highest total of the week. They have the highest implied team total of the week. Washington sucks. Like we saw, Jared Goff played well against them. Carson Wentz absolutely lit them up in week 1. I don't know what the ownership's going to look like on this game. It's probably going to be really high for tournaments just because it's the highest total. But I think the Raiders are definitely in play.
Yeah, Derek Carr is definitely in play as a quarterback this week. Out of your high end guys, he's probably my favorite quarterback of the week.
Yeah, I like Carr a lot.
I mean, and those receivers are going to eat the Washington corner. Even though Josh Norman's played really well,
the last couple weeks they just kind of locked in Norman at left corner. Like he hasn't been following, which is good news for Amari Cooper, who I was worried they were just going to take him out of this game. But
Breland's good too, by the way. Washington has good corners, but their defense just sucks overall.
yeah, they're not scaring me away from the Raiders' offense here. These guys.
Yeah, me either.
I like I mentioned it before. I like Jared Cook as a cheap tight end. For some reason, Carr likes to look to Clive Walford and Seth Roberts in the red zone. So
Yeah, I hate Seth Roberts.
So I think Jared Cook has a good chance. He's actually athletic, unlike those guys, and has a chance to get a touchdown or two in this game. So I like him for 3,100.
What about Beast Mode? Tournament play.
Nah. I don't like running backs who just have no touchdown equity at 600. I mean, not touchdown equity. He's obviously got that. He's not involved in the pass game at all.
Yeah, he can also score 3 touchdowns.
Well, if he scores 3, that's fine. It's hard. I'd rather play Mike Gillislee, who has a much better chance to score 3, and then is going to have a much more.
Why does he have a better chance to score 3?
Because they're going to be up by so much, and when they get in close, they're just going to...
Why? They're playing a good defense.
No, they're not. The Texans' defense is okay, but the Patriots don't care. The Patriots are going to score a lot of points, and they get in close, they're going to give it to Gillislee.
The Texans defense has carried. The Texans defense is good, Todd. They've carried that team for 5 years with no quarterback.
The difference is that this game is going to be close, so it's going to be a more balanced game flow where the Patriots are going to be in run out the clock mode.
I don't know, man. I think the Patriots are not. I don't think the Patriots are going to thump the Texans this week. I really don't.
Into the game, they're going to be up 20-0 or something.
No, they're not.
I really like Jordan Reed this week too. We mentioned that. We're back in the Redskins. I really like Jordan Reed this week.
I'm just worried about he's got that chest injury. I'm just worried he takes a hit and he walks off.
Yeah, whatever. It's football. You got that same concern with everyone.
Not like you do with him, because he does it all the time.
I know. All right, that's gonna do it for the games. Why don't you give me your favorite stack of the week?
I like the Lions, man. Sign me up for the Lions. Give me Stafford, Galladay, and Theo Riddick in the tournament.
Yeah, I really like that call. They'll probably be at most like the 4th highest owned team after this first game, and then the Patriots and the Falcons will be in there too. So I like the Lions. It might be lower than they should be in a game that could really pound the over here. I think that's a good call. I like the Browns. They're gonna have a lot of Deshaun Kaiser and a lot of Duke Johnson this week, and a lot of Jack Doyle. I'm just gonna stack that game in the Millie Maker and then probably start drinking by like 1:30 when
What do you mean? We're gonna start drinking at 9:30. The Jazz game's on.
Oh shit, that's right. I forgot. Fuck.
I'm coming over.
All right, good. Yeah. So I like the Browns as a contrarian stack. If you want to get away from these kind of higher total games, I think that game is going to go underlooked, and I think the total is too low. Vegas is wrong here. All right, so give me your bold call, and let's get out of here.
I mean, my bold call. I hate these dudes. I would just strike out so bad. So you're gonna puke. You're gonna puke. So my bold call is Austin Seferian-Jenkins is gonna finish in the top 8 of tight ends this week.
Ugh.
You're paying $3 grand.
Yeah,
they have no one to throw the ball.
I mean, I'll give you that.
I know it is Super Bowl. They have no one to throw the ball. He might be their most talented pass catcher if he's in the shape that I keep reading about, and the Jets beat writers seem to love him. If he's in that kind of shape, and Josh McCown, because Josh McCown is not good, and what do not good quarterbacks do?
Whoa.
Yeah, I know you hate that. He's a professional quarterback, but he's not good. The reality is
he's like the 12th best.
He's going to be checking down the tight ends.
Like, let's be serious.
He's going to be throwing the tight ends a lot, and I think we see Seferian-Jenkins get some work there.
I like that call. That's definitely bold. Mine is that Devontae Parker is going to be the best point per dollar play at wide receiver of the week. It seems less bold by your extreme boldness, but his price does like wide receiver 20-something, and he's going to, you know what, forget the point per dollar. He's just going to put up the highest score among all wide receivers on the week.
There we go. That's what I'm looking for. That's what we're looking for with the bold call.
Yeah. So, because he's priced at like wide receiver 20-something, and he's going to have the highest scoring game for a wide receiver this week.
I like it. I can actually see that happening.
All right. That's it. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends.
Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, you can follow us on Twitter. Our handles are right below here. And we'll see you next week.
Peace out, team.